Brother Kwesi, I heard about you a long time ago, but it took me like 5 years to get here. What's wrong with me?
I guess everything happens at the appointed time, and trust me, I've not only heard, but I've watched and I've observed your great work, Brother Mark Sims, and I would just say, and sometimes, we're so busy doing our work,
right,
we just don't intersect, but today we took time out to have an intersection.
I hope I end on that show by intersecting, because there's a lot of good people in this town.
Yes.
Well, Chicago's called Chirac, but I think if we get more connected, we can end this crime and drama.
Man, I tell people all the time, I don't, when I hear people say that word or hear words like urban terrorists, I immediately say divorce them words from your conversation, because I come from Chicago, I come from Chi-Town, I come from the city by the lake, the city founded by a river, by a black man, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. We're bigger than that. We don't have to be killing each other. We can be getting our think on, our drink on, try to outlove one another and stop trying to out-thug each other.
Brother Kwesi, we're at Chicago State University. Everybody knows
Chicago State University.
I didn't know it was like that now.
The Chicago State University.
Okay, we at the Chicago State University.
That's right.
And so it's a great institution. But let me say, let me talk about your program.
Sure.
You help young men. You help retention. You help young men graduate from college. Tell us about that.
Well, I have the privilege and honor of being the director of the African American Male Resource Center here at, like I like to call very affectionately, the Chicago State University. It's a program that's here on this campus that is getting awesome reviews and results, awesome support from the administration and the faculty. But it's a program that focuses on three things, which are really the three elements of our university. That's enrollment, retention, and graduation. And with that, we do it by what I like to call the EFACTs. We engage you, we embrace you, we enlighten you, we educate you, and we empower you. And we do that by encouraging you to go for greater. You are greater than that. And so a lot of the work that we do is in the African American Resource Center is very culturally based, because I understand that, first of all, my young men need to know who they are. And not just whose they are, but who they are. And they're more than just, these statistics that are often thrown out about more men in prisons than college, which we know is a lie, because there are more black men attending higher schools of learning than the walls of incarceration. Mainstream would have us believe otherwise, but when you do the research, a good friend of mine is Dr. Ivory Tolston, who's he's involved with the Brothers Keeper program out of Washington, D.C., working with historical black colleges, was just appointed. He can give you those facts. And so a lot of the work that we do with the African American Male Resource Center, we also have a leadership group called TIMBO. TIMBO stands for Teaching and Educating Men of Black Origin, but TIMBO is also a Kiswahili word that means elephant. And we borrowed that name from a story we had read. You may have remembered the story about the young bull elephants in Southeast Africa, where they had been watching them, and they saw them just tearing up the area. They were gorging other animals, and I'm giving you the abbreviated version of the story, but it's online. And this story took the young bull elephants and removed them from where they were at and moved them to an area where there were older bull elephants. And you can only imagine what happened. See, when men stand up, young men look up. And they look up to what is righteous, what has integrity, what has honor, what has dignity. And that was the impetus for us using Timbo as our totem and our name of our leadership group, because I want young men to become the examples to sample.
The time to start thinking about the college, of course, is in grammar school. I think parents,
preschool,
the students. Well, yeah, I mean from day one, because if you have a tough time in grammar school, you may not be academically ready for college.
Yes.
I didn't go to college because I didn't believe. I lived down the street from this fine institution.
Wow.
I didn't believe in myself, and I didn't find a Kwesi or somebody to believe in me.
Okay.
So you believe in the young men?
Wholeheartedly.
So you think that if we believe in these young men, they would, whether they go to college, be a carpenter, be a plumber, more of our men would succeed if they believe in themselves.
I do agree with that. I agree with the fact that you can't be what you can't see. And so if you can give young men examples to sample of what it means to be a man, see, it's more than just walking around with the God-given attributes that you've been given, but understanding that for us, we have a standard that we say in the AMRC Center, and that is, to be a man, you must be able to do three things: provide, produce, and protect. And if you're not doing them three things, you don't have the right to call yourself a man. But when it comes to young men who are aspiring for greatness, whether it's higher ed, quite naturally, I'll be the first one to say, come to the Chicago State University. But whatever you decide to do, just know you can be the greatness that you've been destined to be, and what God has brought you into existence to be. And so whether it's higher ed, or whether it's pursuing a career, a trade, a skill, I would say go for it, but go for it with the idea that you can achieve it. And given the opportunity, and I think that's one of the things here at Chicago State, young people, not just African-American males, but all students, whether you're African-American, whether you're white, whether you're Latino, Asian, they're given opportunities. One of the things I pride this university on is that a lot of the young people, before they've graduated, they've participated in research where they are published. Well, our young people are graduating from college, having had the opportunity to write, to research, to do field practicing, all of that stuff, which now adds to their portfolio, which now adds to their opportunities to get an opportunity to do something great.
There could be a high school, grammar school and high school principals watching this program right now, this video.
Yes.
Are they welcome to come see you?
24 hours a day.
They come do a college tour and see Brother Kwesi?
Well, one of the things through our admissions department, we periodically have regularly scheduled college tours. But at the end of the day, the African American Male Resource Center, we do college tours as well. And when we do a college tour, it's very engaging when it comes to African American males. It's a college tour where we show the movie Bring Your A Game, which is a movie that was done by Mario Van Peebles. You can even find it online on YouTube. It's a movie that literally shows young brothers what are their options. Coming up for the month of May right now, one of our school partners is Wentworth, D.S. Wentworth over in Inglewood, where the principal is Sister Dana Average. And we do a piece over there where it's called 100 Positive Black Men, where we don't wait for the students to come see us, we go see them on their grounds so that they can say, wow, you know, these are the men who we can look up to. And so last Friday was the kickoff. I wasn't able to be there. I had another engagement, but I'm told that it was phenomenal. And so every Monday, every Friday, we're there. One of our other partners in our community high school is Harlan High School. We're doing a project with them, the principal Reggie Evans and Susan Taylor, the former editor of Essence Magazine, called Harlan Rising, which is a mentoring opportunity for we take young men, people from the community, to go down and engage the young men at their school, and the females as well. So we're very open.
See, there's a lot of good stuff.
Out.
See, I never, Harlan's down the street.
Yes.
I was going to do a little piece on Harlan's down the street. But I said I wouldn't go in to see, was it Reggie?
Reggie Evans.
See, I haven't seen Reggie Evans. But see, if I went inside there and I was like, who are you, Mr. Sims? What school you, what fraternity you are? What I'm trying to say, I think a lot of us are scared to connect with each other.
Well, I say we don't have a unity problem. I think you just hit on it. It's a disconnect problem.
Right.
There's unity right here with this conversation that we're having, but look at the connection that's being made now just because we were open and receptive enough to say, hey, you know, let's be willing to extend the hand. And you never know what's at the other end of that hand if you never reach for it. And so I commend you for that, brother.
I got a few minutes left. When men struggle, because we know 67, almost 70% of black men drop out of college their first year. Yeah, I have them go back. They go back at some point, but that first year is really, really hard. Why do so many brothers struggle in college that first year?
I think a lot of times, you know, unless they come to a place like Chicago State, where we have the African American Male Resource Center, when they go to those other universities, they don't have those kind of support centers. Or if they do, they're very cursory. They're very minute. Ours is a full effort with intentionality to engage young men. So when they land on this campus, it's not just the African American Male Resource Center, but it's the Division of Student Affairs. That's what I fall underneath. And under that division, you have student activities, the Latino Resource Center, the Counseling Center, the Freshman Year Experience, Office of Enrollment Management. These are folks that are saying, hey, we're going to do whatever we got to do to ensure that you can't come back and curse the university and say we didn't extend a helping hand. We extended it.
Well, I've been to a few college campuses, and I talked to I would say you provost, you know,
Sure.
big shots like yourself, Brother Kwesi. And they say, but the men don't show up. They get intimidated, they're embarrassed, and then they wait to the last minute to show up to the resources. All the resources there, but they kind of scared, intimidated, embarrassed. Then they wait to the last minute, it's too late.
And it's about removing that fear, removing that veil of misconception or misunderstanding. One of the things that I literally take great pride in is that I very seldom let a young man walk by me and I don't say hello to him. Or don't ask, how are you doing in that math class? Do you need some help? How are you doing in that geometry class? Do you need some help? That science class? And one of the things that I think is a strength of the African American Male Resource Center, a lot of the young brothers who have successfully went through that process are now advisors and mentors. They do their own tutoring with each other. It's kind of like a learning community of men who have said to each other, if I make it, you're gonna make it. Not, you know, I make it and I throw the rope back for you. No, I make it and I hold the rope so that you can have some leverage to pull yourself over.
I'm going to be self-indulgent. The last, in your closing statement, you can say whatever you want, but please address this. There's a young man out there just like me, I was 40 years ago, who academically was just terrible academically, didn't believe themselves, went to got smart to go to college, and never went. Wow. That means what I'm saying. There's somebody that speak to that young man and their parents and say, hey, we're here for you. You can do this.
Hey, I can even do better than that, and I wish I had Dennis Johnson right here with me right now. Dennis Johnson is our president of the student government. Dennis was a graduate from one of the schools in the Chicago Public Schools, came here with not very good favorable academic stability in his life. But Dennis graduates next week on May 15th with a degree in political science. He will be headed to the University of Michigan, grew up right in the south side of Chicago, and because he dared to listen and we dared to care, that we gave him a lifeline and he took hold to it. And we've seen nothing but his star rise. Dennis has traveled into the Far East. He's been featured on MSNBC. I mean, this is a young black male that by all accounts wasn't supposed to make it. And Dennis is one of many. There are others that have graduated. David Anderson, who did an internship at the White House. Brian McCrae, who's out in California right now working for AT&T. I can go on and on about, Freddie Feliciano, who was in my program, who worked in my program, who successfully graduated with a degree. Elliot Hines will be graduating next week with his master's. He's an alum from Chicago State. Philip Craig, he's the head of Concerned Christian Black Men. He's an alum from Chicago State. So it's doable, it's possible, but at the end of the day, I'll say this to the parents and I'll say this to the young men. You have the will, you have the spirit. Now all I ask you to do is take your best step forward and just know that you're stepping out on faith, but you can fly and you can fly high, and we're there to help you ascend and not descend into the abyss.
Yeah, can I come back and do this again?
Absolutely.
Hopefully very soon, not another 5 years.
Oh no, we're gonna see you sooner
all
than
right,
that.
my brother.
I want to see you over at DS Whitworth during the month of May because you don't have to
you done put me on blast now. All right,
all right,
come on.
Now he's gonna come and be a part of the 100 Positive Black Men.
You put me on blast. All right.
71st.
I gotta do it. I know I can walk to the.
He said I know the school.
I know. Yeah, we know. All right,
He said,
we'll talk to you, brother.
All right.